Today we have none other than Garret, who is most known for these Apex Legends news video bangers, such as "This is actually Season 16 gameplay," "This sucks for free-to-play players," and of course, who can forget, "This is a scam." Gripping stuff, absolutely. And today we're going to be discussing the burning question: Garret, is Apex Legends dying?
Yes. No. Maybe. No.
All right. Pod done. That was it. Thank you for coming in. Like, I've seen
see you next week, folks.
Yeah, I've seen you posting like a lot of graphs on YouTube about it. I mean, you're an Apex Legends news YouTuber. Obviously, you should be keeping up with that type of stuff. But I think you've said in the past that Apex always has a downtrend, like by the end of the year.
It's right. So you can't really define dying in a game because games have ups and downs. It's not a constant up. And at the minute, we're kind of in a down influenced by not only Overwatch 2 and Modern Warfare 2, but also Winter. Naturally, Winter, I posted the Google Trends graph the other day, and Apex always drops in the winter. And it's just kind of like a bad mix of stuff happening, like a bad season, let's all admit it, in the winter with big game releases. It's just a big blow, but it's definitely not dying in the long term, not at all. But in the short term, it's definitely down.
Yeah, I mean, EA had, I remember like several years ago, they kind of announced that, we have a 10-year plan for Apex or something like that.
Yeah, and then the Respawn devs were like, we want this to be a game you show your kids.
I did not see that.
Yeah, that's a genuine thing they said in an interview. And
here's son, this is the reason why I'm bald.
The stress had me. So everyone's like, oh, this is it, one bad season, they're going to abandon it and like pull funds. Nah, bro, it'll be fine in like 2 months. Season 16 is going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, because you've seen some stuff. I've seen some news about it, some tweets about it, some hints. I wasn't invited to playtest, probably because I don't have that level of access. I just hope I have any level of access, because I got to try some stuff out or watch a press release last season. But yeah, it's what, 2 months away? It was like the longest season.
There's a long ass season.
Yeah, no, for sure. But so,
yeah,
like, what have we heard about Season 16 so far?
Well, everyone knows anniversary seasons are bangers because you always get one extra collection event and LTM chucked in there. Think of Season 8 with the Heirloom Shard collection event, and think of Season 12, 11, 12. I think it was 12. It was the Mad Maggie season. I can't exactly remember what happened there, but yeah, it's always a good season, the anniversary seasons. And also, it just seems like it's going to be a lot more polished. Obviously, everybody's been talking about meta changes, even Hal.
Yeah, I know. It was talking about Wraith and.
Yeah, and by the sounds of it, they're just going to literally add new class passives for everything, just a complete reshift. So it's going to be a season you log on, and it's like, what is happening here? Because everything's just different.
So be more like, what season was that? With the Wingman sniper ammo. Like season 12?
Bro, my short-term Apex memory is kind of like season 11 to 14 kind of just shift into one. I think it was 15. No, we're in 15. Vantage season. Vantage season. It was Vantage season.
13.
14.
14. Okay, damn it. This is gonna be in a test.
No, we're 14, dude.
Wait,
it doesn't matter, but yeah, everyone knows what season Vantage came, right?
I keep mixing them up as well. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I think you're right. I was wrong.
That doesn't matter. But I remember there was like 33 new changes. I remember that number specifically because I made a video, all 33 new changes.
Yeah, that was good. It's just I think the lack of legend changes has not been helping the game at all because basically seasons now just feel like the same thing on different maps.
Yeah.
And even if the game's perfectly balanced, I do think it's a good idea just to knock in a stupid legend balance change just to mess with everyone.
Yeah.
Because everyone complains about it, but everyone loves it. Remember, like the Mastiff meta in Season 8? Everyone loved that, but everyone was hating on it. So, yeah.
It got a bit one-dimensional, I'd say.
Yeah.
But
I think everyone's just running the same loadout as well. We need just a change in everything.
Yeah, I'd say that's the thing with gaming, especially with gaming as a service, right? At the end of the day, you want to keep it fresh, you need to have one thing that's overpowered. I don't think a perfectly balanced game exists, and even if it did, like it would be boring. I guess Quake is a good example of a perfectly balanced game. Now that I think about it.
Or CS, Geo.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. They don't have like. I mean, you had like the R8 revolver.
Yeah,
Like,
it was like the
nuts.
one day there was an overpowered weapon in the game. It's like the most known day in fucking CS:GO history. But
And
yeah.
I know some. Was it? I think League just goes crazy with it. They just release new things, and it just goes bonkers. Like this thing can destroy Earth. That's the new season's character. Go check them out. Buy all the skins.
Literally. Well, I mean, I think it's good to have some meta changes, honestly, and I think season 16 is going to be the season
These
for meta
season.
changes.
Yeah.
Because basically every single legend's getting changed, but I guess some changes are grouped into a group of like 3 legends. But yeah.
That begs
No,
so that begs the question, right? Because I know a lot of people put the tinfoil hats on. Do you think that season 15 was a filler season? Like they intentionally withheld this good content because they're like, oh, Overwatch 2 is coming out, Warzone 2 is coming out, and whatever reason, and there's always a downtrend in the winter. Are we just gonna skip this one and go for 16?
It feels like they do it every map season now. They've learned like the map's kind of a bit of content, so we'll leave less stuff in that season. How about season 11? Season 11 was like a good season, but it was just kind of boring.
Yeah.
I think that's the track they're on. I mean, I think filler seasons are dumb because it just leads to this like echo chamber of game dead.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When a new season comes out, everyone's like, "Oh, this is so good! This is such a big change." So I guess long term they're good. Short term they're a bit bad.
Yeah, no, long term definitely, because if it can't always be fun, right? Like if it's constantly fun, exciting new stuff, one, it's not sustainable. Obviously, they can't keep thinking of things, and two, I guess the player gets bored because it's just constantly the same level of new stuff.
I don't think people give Respawn enough credit for how well they balance the fun factor in the game. I mean, sometimes it's nowhere near perfect. Like when we get like a month of events in a 3-month season, but sometimes they do it just right. And I think if they find that sweet spot, I think it will work. I mean, maybe if they do like control once every 4 weeks, regardless of collection events, so people know what's happening. I'm not sure. We'll have to see, because I know Respawn. You could kind of tell on Twitter the other day when they got the really, really bad feedback from the Wintertide collection event.
Yeah.
The weekend after, every single dev is either leaving or they got moved into a different department or they got promoted. There was a big change. I feel like that was influenced by, oh shit, we're doing something wrong.
Yeah, because the Wintertide event, I didn't even have that. So I think that's such a crazy event to me, because that's the first time that I know of that a trailer got dislike bombed. So obviously you can't see dislikes anymore, but if you go on the actual trailer and you just an extension for it, you can actually see there's 20,000 likes on it.
I think it's way outweighed now. I'll check it real quick while you're saying that, but I think it's like drastically changed. Like,
okay, because yeah, when I was checking it, it was 20,000 likes and then like 60,000 dislikes or something. Like, which is a massive difference.
Yeah, that's literally what it is right now.
Okay, yeah, well, I guess nobody's going back into the trailer anymore after that. And I remember seeing, I think His Watson and maybe you as well, you ratioed the trailer on Twitter. That's like world first. Like if I make another video on world records for Apex or something, you know, that stuff has to go in there. That's a historical moment. That's a fat dubski, if you will.
Respawn ratio. Yeah, but I think Respawn, I mean, people can't see what's happening on the surface, but internally, stuff has definitely changed. You don't, well, I mean, maybe they do. I haven't been that into it for so long, but it's just weird that everything in Respawn shifts. Everybody gets moved a week after the bag collection event.
You keep your hand on the pulse when it comes to that, I guess. I don't really know. So you're saying like a lot of people started announcing, "Oh, I'm moving here" and whatever, like on Twitter.
Yeah,
or
on
did
the
they have
same
to go
day, I noticed it, and I like posted it in the data miner chat we have, and then everyone was like, "Oh yeah, this person too, this person too, this person too." I'm like, "Yeah, shit's definitely happening in there."
Yeah, something's going down. This is, but that's not necessarily for the worse either. But then,
God, no.
Like I've always had like I know, as someone who knows literally nothing, I've always had the idea that Apex, you know, it's a good product. And it has good developers, but I always felt like maybe the management was the problem. Like I'm saying this as someone who knows nothing, but it just feels like the priorities are really weird from an outside perspective.
Spot on. From everything I've heard, like His Watson mentioned in his stream at some point, they were in a call with this devs or something like that,
Yeah.
and everyone agreed on something, and one guy said no, and it just got dropped. And also, if you go on the Glassdoor reviews for Respawn Entertainment on a whole, the reviews are, oh yeah, it's a good work environment, this and that, but shit gets shot down by higher ups so much.
But what do they mean when they say higher ups? Does that mean like higher ups at Respawn or EA?
I would imagine it's EA because everything has to run through them. I don't think Respawn are like.
That's
maybe
also interesting. I mean, because I know in an interview
you
where
can
like a
see that
developer
right now if you go on the Glassdoor reviews.
Yeah, I can check that, but I know for like if we're gonna specify is higher up Respawn or EA, I remember in a dev stream or something, and this was like super long ago. This was like Iron Crown event all the way back then. But they said that one of the developers had clarified that they hadn't reached out to Respawn or to EA for help or anything. So most of the things were independently. They just kind of had EA on as their own. I guess
that's like
support,
part of the marketing when Apex Legends first came out. It was like, yes, EA is the publisher, but it didn't do much. That was like kind of a marketing point, which was crazy.
Oh, that's a good point. So it could be different behind closed doors.
I'm not suggesting it's different. I just think it's funny that EA was in such a bad point that they were like, EA is the publisher, but we didn't involve them too much. But yeah, I mean, I think EA still has its fair share of words on the Apex development.
Oh, sorry, wait, I just got a message here. This is completely derailing this conversation here, but I have to just talk about it. So apparently, Twitter support tweeted out, we recognize that many of our users are active on other social media platforms. However, we will no longer allow free promotion of certain social media platforms on Twitter. Yeah, go to Twitter support. I accidentally closed our call again. There we go, fixed it. And they had a list. Wait, I'm gonna send you a list. Because then I can have it in our call. Here you go. So you're not allowed to advertise Facebook, Instagram, Mastodon, Truth Social, Tribal, Post, and Nostr.
Basically, just alternates to Twitter. Actually, it's not like YouTube or anything. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh shit! You can't do Linktree though.
That's crazy. Did I have a thing against only farmers? Because I know some websites have like the blacklist if you have only farmers in your bio, and they use like Linktree to get around that. But I don't know if Twitter is against that or something. That's such a huge.
No, I think this was only to combat the use of Twitter alternates because it's Facebook, Instagram, Mastodon, which is literally just
oh yeah,
Mastodon,
Truth as well. I see that. Yeah, no, for sure. That's also interesting. I've said it before. I actually said it right before we started recording this podcast. I've never believed in external marketing. So like, I don't like post tweets. I don't like posting tweets of my videos. I always make, because I'm always like, okay, well, I make a video. If the video is good, it's gonna get views, and the algorithm will push my video. If it's good, I'll get those views. If I post it on Twitter, I'll get like 100 external clicks. And that's nothing. It doesn't actually
can only slow it down, especially with like engagement and shit.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like not really. Also, Twitter suppresses external links, which is a whole different thing.
I wonder if that'll affect Apex. maybe if they link to Facebook or something, but I don't think they do that. I'm just thinking, so many people are gonna get screwed over now, but that sucks.
I can't think of anyone. I guess maybe the people that got signed on to Facebook Gaming.
Oh my god, that could actually screw a few people over. Like, what's his name? Prob Gary. He does Facebook streaming.
Yeah, but I think, well, not necessarily him, but no, Burno and Jay Miles, they got like a Yoink deal. I don't know exactly what it is, but I have to like upload specific content on Facebook. That are not allowed, like, exclusive content. They can still continue doing what they're doing, but I have to upload on Facebook some stuff like a day or a week or something like that. And I know I've seen him post on Twitter that, oh yeah, check out my new video on Facebook. Not anymore. You gotta figure out the algorithm, and I can tell you this much, it's really difficult.
Companies are so weird these days for that type of thing. Like, even EA for some part, companies are just very like overbearing now on their platforms. I mean, on EA app, I was trying to download Apex, and I couldn't launch Apex because I had it installed on Steam on the same computer.
That's really weird. That sounds petty.
It is. I got a screenshot of it. It's like you can't launch it because it detected a Steam version. So okay, whatever.
Wasn't even the same folder. Just like, oh, it's on your PC.
It's on a different drive.
Wow. That is really petty. That is the most pettiest thing I've ever seen or heard. Because I can the other way around. It's like, okay, I have Apex on Origin because I still don't have EA app, and I have Apex on Steam, and I have R5. Oh man, I hope they're not gonna like ban R5 that way. That would suck.
I think it would have happened by now.
I guess you're right.
R5 has run its course of like a gimmick. Everyone knows what it is now.
Yeah. Dude, R5 is like genuinely, well, not everyone, so that's why I'm gonna. R5 is genuinely such a cool project. So it's what, a season-free build of the game?
Yeah.
And has like a super active modder community that have added to it.
A lot of people have misconceptions to what it is, but it's basically Apex with no anti-cheat and local servers, and you can just mod what you want on it. And it's just that good. I mean, you could do this stuff on normal Apex if you had no anti-cheat, just like mod your weapons like that. But I guess respawn servers don't like that. It's pretty cool. It's a cool little project. It can help you. I mean, to any viewers who want to try R5 Reloaded, it can really help you learn to code because you can just mess around with guns and stuff. It's just trial and error.
I know, like, I used to play Garrus mod a lot growing up.
Hell yeah.
That's the same thing there. Like, I was pretty solid at G Lua, I called it. So it's just Lua, but it was Garrus mod because it was basically the Lua coding language, but I think it was like a few different things. And I just had so much fun playing around with that. Like, that is genuinely, like, that's how I got my foot in with, like, I guess, game development to a certain degree. Like, there's just so many, you go into the files, and you just go, oh, I have this add-on, but I want this to do this instead. And it works. I guess, like, R5.
I could never do that. I'm absolutely inept with any type of coding.
It was really, like, that's, like, what I noticed is there's two layers. So you have, like, okay, so you have the outer CFGs or whatever, like, the stuff you can find in a data mine. Very simple stuff. Okay, the rings close here and not here, that type of deal, you know? And this is where you find a good loot. But if you dive really deep, you start finding, like, you get a headache. Because it's like,
what code is just literally, like, deep in the Apex files.
What's that?
What happens if you dive deep in the Apex files is you find out how much it relies on existing Titanfall 2 stuff. It's so built off Titanfall. If you go really deep, stuff, your pilots, and then there's these Titan explosions for this bit, and it's really interesting actually how much Respawn built off Titanfall. You don't realize it, but some people don't realize Titanfall 1 was originally built off, I think, the CS:GO branch of Source Engine.
Right. The CS:GO was built off of.
Probably Left 4 Dead, if I were to guess.
Yeah, not Source.
No, it's Source. I mean, just the CS:GO.
I meant Counter-Strike Source, like the.
Oh yeah, I don't know that deep in the Source evolution, but yeah.
You'll be surprised. I don't know the full like evolution there, like you said, but I do know that from what I've seen, you can trace it really far back. Like the specific path, I'm not sure about, but yeah, like you said, so you got Apex Legends, and that's built off Titanfall 2. And I would assume Titanfall 2 is built on Titanfall to some degree. And then that goes back to like Counter-Strike Source. Global Offensive, like you said, and then Source or Left 4 Dead or whatever. It just keeps going back. And now we're like in the early 2000s. Counter-Strike Source. But here's the thing, baby. Source Engine, Half-Life 2, TF2, whatever, was built on Gold Source, which came out in 1998, I think. And Gold Source was built on, I think it was Unreal Tournament or something, Unreal Engine, something like that.
Yeah, it was either like that or Quake, one of those like.
Yeah, you go really far back. Like you can go really, and then that's also interesting because you have like B hops and stuff. Like these are techniques, both in Apex and in Quake. Like it's Quake movement to a certain degree, if it's Quake or Unreal or what, doesn't matter. But I think that's really a really cool fact. Like all of these games have a lot in common when it comes to code because they just build on each other.
Slept on fact of Apex as well. People don't realize. But I guess it's kind of a burden too because a lot of developers have mentioned because of the engine, it makes stuff a lot harder to do. It's not like Unreal Engine where to some extent you can drag and drop.
Yeah.
It's apparently made cross progression and stuff like that super hard. Because I guess they're just working off a really ancient engine at the end of the day relative to what normal people are working on. And the developers even said that.
Yeah, dude, that makes me think of you know that Avatar: The Last Airbender meme? We have like you have Aang, the Avatar, the kid, and he's like standing there. There's like a whole row of his ancestors just on his side. Yeah. That's what I'm imagining. What it feels like to be an Apex Legends developer. Like you have to go all the way back.
But the thing is, I don't think Apex would be very good if it was built on Unreal Engine, because you'd never hit that same movement again. People who are like, upgrade to Unreal Engine, put it on Unreal, you'll never replicate what Apex has got. Never.
No, it's like 20 years of refining there. It will be impossible. Like just the subtlest things would not be doable.
It'd be like playing fucking Fortnite in first person. Swear to God. But yeah.
But I know. Let's see. So that's also interesting because that reminded me of something. Because Respawn wanted to remove tab strafing. Now this was something I'm saving for different episodes. Subscribe or follow or whatever for a different episode. But I do want to bring it up because I think it's such an interesting story. So they wanted to remove tab strafing, as everyone knows by now. And they brought in movement expert. I remember hearing like Moki was brought in, and I talked to a bunch of these. I think they made an official announcement about it. Yeah, but they kept running into problems. Sorry, go on.
I was just saying Moki even mentioned it in a few videos that they like brought him in several times.
I couldn't figure it out. Like the closest they got was that you could not turn farther than 90 degrees. And that was like either the accidental change, or you had when control came out and you couldn't tap shift in the control test build.
Is that accidental in the same quotation marks as that time they turned aim assist off?
Dude, I was thinking about that too, yeah.
That is like the most slept on event in Apex. The day they just turned aim assist off, everybody was freaking out on social media like, bro, sorry, I'm just not feeling this split, can't get pred. And then Respawn like, oopsie.
Oh, you noticed? Okay, notes down.
I swear to God, Respawn knew what they were doing. That was a test. They knew what they were doing. They were like, so what if we did turn aim assist off? And the whole community imploded.
That's so crazy to me, because it's funny too, because when it comes to this type of stuff, there is a lot of bias, and there is a lot of like, yeah, I guess I just call it a bias. A lot of people that thinks it works in one way, like people are still convinced that somehow PC aim assist is stronger than console aim assist, which doesn't make sense in any way, shape, or form. But here we are. So I guess Respawn were like, we gotta get some data on this. We have to know, like, what's the actual.
And what's that was the day they realized they're never gonna know if aim assist, no matter how much people cry.
Yeah, they're just like, we can't touch this. They probably saw player retention drop by like 80%. Like the game was about to die, and then turn it back on. They knew they couldn't do it.
Servers were on fire and everything. It's like that SpongeBob. It's like a SpongeBob scene where everything's on fire in his head.
Oh yeah. We did it, Patrick. We saved the city. Wait, I think it's a different one, actually. Sorry.
I mean, that would have actually killed Apex rather than just a bad season, which we're suffering now.
Yeah, because you think I'll swing back, and that made me think. That's another thing. So Respawn likes to do this, and I want to bring it up. And I think you actually made like a short video on this, but I've gotten to that point of YouTubing that I don't watch the videos. I just like look at the title and the thumbnail, and I go, all right, that's a good title and thumbnail, and then I move on. Like I guess what it is about. It's a fun little game with no resolution.
I'm not even gonna lie.
But I saw that. So you're free to tell me if I was wrong about this. But basically, so in the season 15, Broken Moon, they were showing us the whole Broken Moon map. They had a dev stream, and they had like a guy running around or whatever. And we saw that, like you mentioned, there seemed to be some changes to the support class. Pathfinder had like a zipline thing in his HUD.
Video. This was actually season 16 gameplay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and that was so funny to me, because I made like I had a mistake. I had a sponsored short with EA actually, and I made a sponsored short on this, and I was like, this is gonna be perfect. And I was like, these are the changes in season 15 that you didn't hear about or something. Like, it wasn't in the patch notes. This is fresh information straight off the presses.
Yeah, I reported on that shit first day. I was like, oh yeah, I literally a minute after it happened, I was like, oh yeah, supports are the only ones that can open these blue bins now. And the video sits there, clear gameplay from the Play Apex account. I uploaded it just thinking it was season 15 changes like everyone else.
Yeah.
And then like I saw some comments like a week ago on the video. It's like, well, this video was a lie. It's like, bro, I can't know what EA streams.
That's so funny to me too, because I did the exact same thing. I posted it on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, whatever, and it was printing. Everyone like, oh my god, he opened the Matrix. He knows the truth. This, we have to share it. We have to comment. We have to hit the like button, right? Like, we have to talk about this. This is amazing. There was a whole drama with the patch notes being lacking. Actually, there's some cool stuff. No, did not happen. And what's funny
we were
is
just on some copium.
Yeah, and even after the patch, it's like it got like hundreds of thousands of views. And even after the patch, it's still farming. It keeps going. And I don't have the heart in me to remove it. I just like pin a comment and I hope that people will see it. But like I couldn't do anything about it at that point.
Jesus.
But
I mean, that's just part of the job, though. Sometimes you get stuff wrong.
Yeah, you suffer from
Sometimes
success.
it's not your fault.
I think you have that's also funny. I wanted to like bring it up a little bit. I don't know if we're like on weird like ground here, but like I wanted to say, because what I was doing there was I was spreading misinformation. Oops, hee hee, right? But like this, it's crazy how far misinformation gets. Like, misinformation can, like, you just post a random fact that's not true, or you make it seem like a fact, but you just blatantly lie, and people will like spread it. It like hit hundreds of thousands of people before the truth even gets out.
Dude, that was the situation with the pros data mining zones. That was so laden of misinformation. It actually hurt my brain.
Yeah.
People like, it's coming from the source code. It's hacking and this. No, it's literally a 2-minute job to get it out, and like.
Oh, that's go. Oh, I didn't even know you had a. Wait, what's this saying? A bone in this fight? A bone to pick? A dog
I don't have a
fight.
bone to pick. I'm not really on a side. It's at the end of the day, it's EA's fault for not specifying that you cannot data mine. Because people are obviously going to do it. It's like weapon. It's in the same pool as weapon values, in my opinion.
Yeah. So wait. Okay. Let me add context here for the viewer who might not know. So basically, there was this whole drama recently, like a few weeks ago by now. I also made a video about that if you want to dive more deeply into it. But I'll cliff notes. And the cliff notes is you could right now you can go into the game, you can data mine. There's files that are like config files. You can correct me if I'm wrong anywhere. No, we don't want to do misinformation here, guys.
I think they just define the areas where the zone cannot end, and that's what they were going off.
Right. Yeah. So someone found or has found files that show, like you said, where zones cannot end, and then they had either manually or for a script overlaid that over a map. For every single map in the game. So they have like a big graphic showing, okay, the zones can't pull here, 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 or here. And the big drama there was, like you said, they were like, oh, they're hacking the game and source code and all that stuff. And I guess personally, and I feel like I hope I don't get anything wrong.
I'll tell you.
Okay, perfect.
To the best of my ability, at least.
Yeah. I made a whole video on it, so I have done the research, but my memory is so bad, so I always forget something. But yeah, so there was a whole drama about this. You had one side of the pro scene had been using this. They had been keeping it secret, tied to their chest, weren't talking to anyone else about it. So that was one part of the scene. There's like so many factions. It's like a super complicated drama. And then you had like another faction, they were like the merchants. They were they had found this information. They were selling it to teams. And then you had like a third faction that was like the purists or whatever who were they were not okay with it. And I mean, personally, if I'm gonna throw my opinion in the ring, I'm sort of like around what you said, that it doesn't sit right with me that you have to break open a game. Like, it's an easy thing to break open a game, but you gotta get like a file viewer, I assume. You can't just, it's not a zip file, it's not a .txt. Even if it was a TXT, it feels a bit iffy to me personally, that you can just open it up and go, okay, zones don't pull here. There's also loot pools you can get from data mining, and that's the extent of my knowledge.
Yeah, it's all pretty surface level.
But it's still pretty big. Like, you can get this data also if you go into the game and just like write it down on a piece of paper or whatever, but then you do research instead of going through the actual game. And if only one side knows about it, then it becomes an unfair advantage, in my opinion.
If you're a pro team, you have a scrim code, you have a private match code, right? So literally get get all of the team members for 12 hours to just keep running games, and wherever the final circle ends, put a dot there, and you will eventually have the same map of what you get from the files anyway.
Actually, it's a bit different because there were zones pull, and the files say what I can't pull.
I'm just saying like where it ends on the game. Like,
Okay, sure, yeah.
Closes into nothing, and then in the empty spots where it's not ended, that'll be your differences. But I guess doing it from the files, you do get 100% answers because there's like some bridges where the zone won't end and stuff like that.
Exactly, and I think
it's a bit of a gray area.
According to what people said, so this was like this was beyond my knowledge. So I can't say for sure, but from what I read, these zones change. Like if you compare season 12, like a season 12 map versus a season 15 map, there are spots where the zone no longer can pull. Some are obvious, like there's a cliff, it can't go to the cliff, but there's some houses that you no longer can go on in like Storm Point. I know a few of them that I remember distinctly going like, it can't end here, and then it ends up ending there anyways. And if you're data mining, and you see the change, because I would assume you get that data every patch, then you'll know that before anyone else.
Yeah, it changes every patch, but it's like they don't change it just to mess with people. Be like, put this in a different place. It's basically just if there's like a viral Reddit clip of some guy dying in a stupid spot, basically that type of thing.
Wait, what the hell? AdSense. Who's typing? Who's in my chat? Hold on. Is it this one? Okay, it's gone.
So someone in your live chat.
Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe that was like my Twitch chat or something. I don't know. Right, you were saying. Sorry.
I don't know. I don't think there's a clear answer, and the fact that Respawn never answered to it. I know Sweet was like, I've told the ALGS admins, and they're gonna have a statement tomorrow. The fact that we never got anything just kind of shows like nobody knows. There was never a clear rule. You can't punish people on something that was never clear. There's never a clear rule on it. And if you're gonna have analysts in esports, they're obviously gonna analyze as much as they can.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't punish anyone. I don't think, as much of a competitive advantage it is, and I think, like, yeah, integrity-wise, it's a bit iffy. Yeah, you can't ban people off this. It's not against the rules in any way, shape, or form. They can add a rule about it and go, like, you're not allowed to do this anymore. But then that introduces a whole different set of issues. Like, okay, so they're not allowed to data mine, but they can go to someone else to do it for them. Then it's like, I don't know. The easiest solution as someone who isn't a game coder or anything is just don't have this information in the actual client, like, right? Like, just have it on the server.
I mean, apparently, from what I've heard, it can be just completely server-sided. It doesn't need to be in the files, but it's in the files for one reason.
Yeah, it makes sense, because you have, I mean, if you have where zones can't pull in the files, I'm sure you have, like, where the zones can pull in the files, or some other rules. For whatever reason, these are just, like, still left on the client side server.
It's not fun.
It's a bit weird. It's super funny.
I just don't think we can end the conversation on this because there is no conclusion. And that's
yeah, all right, okay, I'm gonna add. I will have a conclusion for this topic. I talked to a person, and I'm not gonna say who, but I talked to a person, and they were pretty involved in this drama. So they had a horse to pick, or whatever.
Horse to pick.
And they said that they had reached out to EA.
Oh yeah.
And there's going to be a statement. I talked to this person a few days ago. There's gonna be a statement. That's the impression I got from them. And what happened, like we don't know yet. So until there's a statement, you can go wild with it, I would assume.
Yeah, I just feel like it's a bit late for a statement because it's not like something you need to sit around a table and be like, all right, we all need.
You'd be surprised. So you know what happened this morning? No, wait, it was yesterday. Doesn't matter. I played in the ALGS.
Yes.
And in the Challenger circuit. So that's like the amateur leagues. I'm sorry to disappoint the viewers. I'm not in the pro league at the very moment.
Just going to LAN.
But we had some issues because one of the teams that were playing in our group had won 2 weeks ago. And if you win a challenger circuit, that means that you qualify to the next stage. You don't have to play anymore. But they're like, we need to play. We want to play. And that introduces like a whole set of competitive integrity problems. Like the rules don't say they are not allowed to play, but like, the integrity is there, right? Like imagine if I win a tournament and there's some dude in Challenger Circuit who I have beef with, and then I just land on them the whole tournament and just grief their games because I don't lose out. I already qualified.
I mean, I can't say that's not happened before.
It's 100% happened before. But you can take it to the next level. You can make a living here. Like, how much money these streamers make? Like, I'd go to Nick Merckx and go like, yeah, so this dude over here, you don't like him. You wire me 50 grand. I'm gonna grief him the entire challenge circuit. He's not getting into the LGS. Like, it's crazy to me. So, but the moral of the story here was that we sat in the lobby for an hour because the admins had to like talk to someone higher up, and I don't know how the discussion went, but they said that we're talking to our admin and then the head admin, and it kept going up and up and up and up all the way up the chain of command, and I'm pretty sure at the very end they had to wake up Eisenhower and say, this team in Challenger Circuit is it's playing, they're not allowed to. You gotta have a statement here. And then they actually made like a change like 1.5 hours later or something. They kicked the team from the tournament. It was all good. But it's so like that's how slow they are. Like, and it's difficult because it's like a legal thing, I think. Like you have to because again, there's no rule that says you're not allowed to play again. But there's a problem if you do.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the same thing with the data mining. And it's like I said, there's a lot of
define the rules more, but that can only be done through like trial and error, I guess. So moments like these is where the rulebook gets rewritten, but they only rewrite the rules every new year. So like new ALGS year. So I guess it's all going to come into effect in year 4.
We still have I don't know if you noticed, if you sign up to Balify, it says you have to accept the rules. You have to accept the rules. It just says year 3 rules coming soon.
Shit.
There are no rules.
It's
just a PDF.
I thought that was rules.
No, this is a PDF. So you have to look at. I think the rulebook might be somewhere else, or it's like the year 2 rulebook or something. But they literally don't accept that.
I mean, actually, now you say it, maybe they aren't announcing that zone thing because we're kind of finishing off right now, and there's no point in announcing a new rule now. But like for LAN and everything, there'll be like a no data mining rule or something like that, and then past LAN at that point. I don't know.
It's weird. There's some weird implications too if you wanna ban, because then you're limiting one side of the community from it. Because there's like a huge thriving data mining community, like massive, way bigger than the competitive. I almost feel like like the Apex Uncovered and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I'm just talking data mining in terms of the zone.
I know. But it's other information
it's
too.
It's pretty impossible for Respawn to just completely kill data mining.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like they just have to fix the game. Just fix the game.
Yeah. I think that's easier said than done for.
Yeah, no, yeah. Respawn. It's probably like again, we have these 20 years of iterations to the engine. That means that you just cannot. The zones have to be here. Coconut.jpg. It just has to be in the game. I wonder if that is actually a thing. So coconut.jpg is like a file that befuddles source developers. I think this was for Counter-Strike or Team Fortress. One developer found a file and it's called coconut.jpg, and it's a picture of a coconut. And if they delete this file, it's just an image file. But if they delete it, the game just stops working. So the whole entirety of source is built on this picture of a coconut.
That's what I've heard. There's like loads of dependency issues on source, and that's why Respawn sometimes struggles to remove stuff or add new stuff, because you could remove something, you're kind of like removing the bottom block of the Jenga tower where everything falls.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like something trivial.
Yeah, like a picture of a coconut.
It's like you remove the voice line where Pathfinder says piss, and the whole game just breaks and never launches again.
It's always such a miracle how the game runs. Every time I hear about something like that, I would imagine working on Apex has to be a nightmare. With how many, if it literally looks like you clock in for the day and you're like, all right, today we're gonna write one line of code, right? We're like, okay, we want Pathfinder to say this thing. So you have 8 hours. You clocked in for 8 hours. So for the first 10 minutes, you write the little one line of code. Pathfinder says, eat this, Scavlander. And then for the rest of the 7 hours and 50 minutes, you're just looking for ways that the game broke.
The issue is I don't think I don't think you're very far off there.
I think that's actually just coding in general, actually.
I think that's just definitely more code on the source engine as well.
Might be.
I mean, I'd love to see what's happening behind the scenes, how Respawn actually do it, because they've got like their own private tools and everything.
Yeah.
But, it's just a Respawn moment. But I mean, that's what we're gonna have to suffer with for the rest of Apex's life cycle, because this shit is not moving on source.
We have to tell our kids about how the game is not getting better.
He's like, why do we only get one collection event a month? Have you ever heard of Team Fortress 2?
Sit down, son. This is gonna get deep.
You ever heard of the Pyro? It all starts there.
So there's this one file. It's called coconut.jpg. What's a JPEG? Man, I'd have to go for that. It's just like you have to go so far back. I feel like we're born, you know that meme, like born too soon to explore the universe, born too late to understand the beginnings of Gold Source. Born just in time to
experience the Apex jank.
Yeah. The whole situation is weird.
Oh, good. What about another weird situation? Let's read off the list here. I see you got War Forgotten written down.
I was actually gonna say, yeah, I didn't have a good segue. I was just like, we're gonna be quiet and we'll move on.
I was just looking at that. I was like, what does I want to talk about? What we're going for?
So I was talking to Mike. So you're an Apex Legends news guy, right? It's a very highly prestigious job. Sorry, I just. There's some people. So there's J Miles. There's you. There's Bob's. I think I get him like occasionally. I don't really know. And then there's there was Water got him. And you guys were like hard competing back in the day, I think, right?
I don't think we've ever competed. I think it was more everyone competing with Water got him, because he had like a grasp over the Apex community that we've never seen since. Dude was getting like hundreds and thousands of views per news video, which you just never see anymore. Like 40k views on a 2-minute news video is good now. And he threw it all away by messaging a 15-year-old.
Was that the thing? Because I thought,
that was it.
Well, as I understood it, that was one part. It's a very long story.
Oh, like his whole life broke down in like 2 months because everything came out. He like DDoSing, grooming, fucking copyright striking, everything.
Yeah. So like,
dude just switched up.
So the thing is as far as what I know, I'm not an expert on content creation. I don't think the whole 15-year-old situation actually was what did him in. Like, I think he probably would have been fine, and he'd be fine with it. The problem was that, like, okay, he did that thing. He got EDP'd or something, whatever. But the problem is, yeah, so he ended up doing things against the systems that he was using, for lack of a better word, benefiting from. Which you really don't want to do. So, yeah, one thing was he DDoSed. Like you said, he DDoSed the server because he wanted to get a high rank or something.
And he was caught so obviously doing it so many times. The thing that screwed him there is so many pros picked up on this and like watched a clip of it in stream or something, and it just spread like wildfire. But also, because he started striking videos of him talking about DDoSing and stuff like that, he was false striking them. And then I think that eventually led to YouTube completely shadow banning his channel.
Yeah, it was like a snowball effect.
And then that was the actual fall off. I think he could have possibly maintained after that if he did. But also, he just didn't do an actual apology.
Yeah.
His apology is just, sorry you think I did it. Some shit along those lines. I mean, it's like, sorry you feel that way type of thing.
What I've learned from like doing content creation and interacting with some of the prolific people in this community is you don't have to post an apology. Like, just don't talk about it and it'll just blow over. There'll be something else to talk about. Like a week later.
That is the Apex community in a nutshell. Yeah. I'm not going to name, but I can name so many people that have got into like shit you'll think, oh, they're done now. And they're just fine.
Yeah, every single time. Well, that's in my case, that is very reassuring. That means that I can definitely tell my kids about this game in the future. At the end of the day, I feel like we're all human. Some things inexcusable. Some things, I mean, even PewDiePie. Look at PewDiePie, right? He got a little upset at a bridge one day. It was a little bit of a gamer moment, but he came out fine. He just had to. you just things got a little bit crazy for a little bit there, and now it's all fine.
Yeah, I think that was one of the craziest cancellations, but also that still affects us to this day because so many advertisers pulled out of YouTube and they changed the ad stuff up that much. We probably could be like potentially earning more, but because YouTube just took such a big hit and switched so much stuff around.
Yeah,
I think it changed the YouTube algorithm and stuff up a lot.
that's one of the moments that changed the internet. You hear that?
And that's why your Apex animation video keeps getting demonetized. You'll be fine otherwise. If PewDiePie didn't drive over that Apex bridge, PUBG bridge, you would still have your animation video monetized.
Imagine.
That's the domino effect.
Oh, I got it fixed. It's fine.
Oh, nice.
That was a whole thing, but I got it fixed. It's fine. I was wondering what animation video we're talking about, and I realized. I need to get it fixed. I started with like having a picture of Loba, and then like a picture on the like the finger gun pointing whatever was like pointing at a Loba, and she happened to have a cleavage out, so it got limited like super early on.
That means someone manually reported that.
Yeah, someone manually reported it,
that.
and then it went there, and then I changed it up and to a better thumbnail. Honestly, I don't like the one I have right now, but it's better. And then I thought that was the end of it, and then it got like demonetized months later. And I assume what happened is the initial report just piled up, or like they're overworked over at the reporting HQ or something. And then months later they get the report. Oh, there's a picture of Loba's boobs. Okay, we gotta limit this thing.
It's just the thumbnail's just got wraith in it.
Yeah, they just forgot about it, I guess. I don't know. They found it between the cracks. And that reminded me of a Water Gotham tweet. Or not a tweet. Was it you or was it... Who was that? You know what I'm talking about. It was someone who leaks, maybe.
I can probably answer because the Water Gotham thing shaped my YouTube career very well, so it's very ingrained in my memory.
But I know Water Gotham, he made like, he's shadow banned. So if you guys don't know what shadow banning means, in the case of YouTube, that means that it only really gets pushed to, like, a select group of people. I don't know if it's like your amount of your subscribers or like your very active users or whatever, but you don't get push. I don't think you show up in search.
Down to new viewers. It's only returning viewers that can see you.
Okay, yeah, I've had that happen to me on Facebook. It's not a fun time.
Sounds about Facebook to be fair.
And it's really interesting. I think it's because he still uploads regularly. I think there's something commendable about that.
Daily.
Yeah,
I'm not sure whether that's extreme dedication or he lost it in that like 2-month period where everything just went downhill.
Yeah, I just had a breakdown at that point. I saw
Just
because I
like
saw that
bored
thumbnail. That's what I was thinking about. Like, oh, the new bikini skins.
It's just a Francis Brown render.
Yeah.
Don't search Francis Brown.
Francis, I'll look him up. I'll look at him later.
He does Apex art. We'll leave it at that. But basically, it was using like a very suggestive image in his thumbnail. It was like so suggestive that it was like beyond parody.
It's surprising to me because I feel like if my picture of the Loba boobs got limited, then I would imagine that probably doesn't help either.
I don't think enough people are seeing it to report it.
Oh yeah, maybe. I thought it was automated, but maybe I'm wrong.
YouTube has an AI trained on like millions of bikini pictures and just spends some day scanning for bikini
They know
pictures.
what's tasteful and what isn't.
Yeah, they know whether it's like a tasteful like modeling thing or someone making a clickbait video.
That's actually funny. I'm gonna tell you if you wanna pull up my YouTube real quick.
Yes.
I made a video a few days ago, and I'm really proud of the reality bender. Literally the third video. I'm reacting to the #1 Octane. He is so fast. And it has like all the needles in the hand.
Oh yeah, YouTube kind of cracked down on needles.
They did not like that. Yeah, no, the first
thing.
like hour or two, I got no views. Like my impressions were like all the way in the bottom, and then I don't know what happened, but then it just bounced up again. Like maybe
Yeah,
got,
it's because those old like kids toy videos had like a really weird obsession with like needles. It'd be like a thumbnail of like Elsa having a needle of just like random liquid syringed directly into her ass, and that was like a genuine thumbnail. It's like a thing they did a lot. So I think if YouTube does detect a needle in a thumbnail, like we're not gonna risk it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I would imagine it's also about the whole like with vaccines and stuff. There's probably some stuff there as well. Play a safe card.
Basically, with YouTube, don't do anything through a thumbnail unless it's just words.
You have to be careful. Dude, YouTube is like sometimes I really do a thumbnail and I think to myself, "This is it. My career over." Is that it? You never know. You never know what it's gonna think. But I'm so far I've been fine. Doing great.
I mean, your thumbnails are definitely probably the most creative in the community. I mean, I think the best one, although it didn't pop off as much as I would have liked it to, is the Earth is flat video, where it's just the Earth raptor in the thumbnail.
Dude, it's so funny you mentioned that one specifically because I had my guy who helps me with thumbnails. He made that one completely. I just said like, we need this one. He's like, I got it. I think the concept of that video is why it didn't do well. I don't know.
Yeah. It's very niche because first of all, you kind of like, if you watch it, you don't really know who the pro is because he's not like a recognizable face like Hal.
Yeah.
And then also like you can't really tell it's an Apex video from a glance. I guess that's one part of it.
Yeah, there's more that leads into it. I just assumed that the subject itself was like not. I actually got flagged for that video. I don't know if you knew that.
Did you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh yeah, I actually watched it like 2 days ago, and I did notice at the bottom it was like flat Earth theory. It was like this whole thing disproving the flat Earth theory under your video. It was like some automated stuff from Google.
It was really like, but I remember I got some flack for it. So people were like, "Oh, the dude is really nice. You should like, just being mean to him."
Yeah, the dude is really nice. He's pulling up TikToks to prove the Earth is flat.
Yeah. Like I don't like the idea of deplatforming someone. Like I just want to have that said, but I do think that it's dangerous to give people like that a platform. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I think it's because people think it's true. They think it's valid because he thinks that way.
The video is not like hating or anything. It's like completely valid. You're just going over this guy's opinion. You don't even like clown him, or even tech doesn't clown him. Like it's a perfectly civilized conversation. It's a debate. It's encouraged. It's better than going, this guy is a stupid idiot because he doesn't think like everybody else.
Yeah,
silly.
That's also antagonizing. You don't want that. That's just
no.
Like, it's good. I really like that tech did that because it shines some light on the movement. I think like there was a lot of conversations around that time. I think this was when the Flat Earth Netflix documentary was like making the rounds. I don't know if you've seen that.
Nah, there's always like a new Netflix show trend that everyone's like, hey, you gotta watch this for like 2 months, and then nobody talks about it again for the rest of their life.
Okay, that's probably. There's a really good. I recommend you watch it if you ever have time. It's called Behind the Curve. They talk to some like super famous flat Earth influencers and just follow them on like a day-to-day or whatever what they're doing. Going to cons
I still think that people are trolling. I cannot. I mean, you know, if you're a flat Earther listening to this, don't hate on me. But I feel like people who do it are just trolling for a bit now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it started as a troll and then it just turned into a. I don't know. Some people took it seriously. That happens a lot, sadly. But okay, let's move on from that because I don't want people to get angry at me. I don't have a lot of listeners. I don't want to piss off the 10% or something, which is one listener.
Sorry, guy.
we gotta keep it PG.
He's like sitting there, just slammed his ass.
Damn.
Oh my god.
I mean, I lost like literally when I posted a video. I do want to say that I lost like 5 subs immediately. The Flat Earth video.
You really lost some. You really lost some higher IQ.
Yeah, I lost some quality viewers there. I'm gonna come back.
I don't want to be alienating anyone.
Either way, so
you're entitled to your own opinion.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. So I wanted to. This was actually, so I have a viewer, or not a viewer, like one of my mods is like, I guess he's a bit of a fan. Was really interested in some stuff about your channel. Yes. Specifically, like he was wondering, like, what made you start doing Apex News?
It's actually a really funny story because I was just I dated someone in the game anyway because I was like modding. So go further back. Before I played Apex, I played Titanfall, and I was like really interested in just modding the game and like changing stuff on screen, which was done by changing the VPKs. Right. But I realized in Apex, in the VPKs, you could see future content, and I was just looking through them for a while, and I was like looking at like leaker accounts or like data miner accounts. I was like, bro, these people aren't showing everything in the files. So I just made the account and just showed everything in the files. And then when Watergate started like on his downfall, I was like, you know, I see a little spot in the market here. And then uploaded videos. and then it really didn't help Watergate when he decided to have a personal beef against me, which really then helped people discover. So I think I have a lot to credit to Watergate. And then I moved from
maybe he's not that bad of a guy after all.
Yeah, it was all the plan.
Yeah,
And then I moved from Garret, the news channel, to GRRT because there's literally no sustainable amount of news now to make daily videos. I just make videos on stuff now.
yeah. I mean, if you dig really hard, you'll find stuff to make. But what? That's how I ended up. Like, I couldn't think of things to make videos of anymore, so I started going back in history.
Same, that's what I do sometimes. If I can't think of a video, I'll like scroll down 8 months ago on my YouTube channel and be like, yeah, I can talk about that.
Make a little bit of a documentary.
Yeah. I mean, I think yours is definitely you could definitely talk about a lot more stuff because you just talk about like crazy rabbit holes.
Yeah. It's weird. It's just like I'm just so invested in all of this stuff. So I'm literally just it's like I feel like an old man, like an 80-year-old. Just in front of a campfire, he's telling the grandkids.
The wisdom, you're opening up your bloody old book, you like blow off the dust. You ever heard of when they turn aim assist off?
That's a good one. Back then, everyone had an onion on their belt, which of course was fashion at the time.
And everyone left their front doors unlocked, stuff like that.
Exactly. Walked uphill both ways to school.
Back when I used to walk to school, it was a 3-hour walk there and back. People tried to rob me all the way there. That was just the old days. that'll be a YouTube channel when you go on. You'll just turn into like a content creator who just like reminisces. I think that happens a lot now with like Fortnite channels. It's got that old. People can literally just make a living of being like, bro, I miss Windy Willows. Stuff like that.
Dude, that's like, oh man, yeah. There's so many people I know where that's just like most of the time when we spend time together, we're just literally sitting and do that. Oh, you remember this? And they go, yeah.
That's what I do with all my friends. we just think of like dumb stuff we did in secondary school, and then you realize how dumb some of the stuff we did was.
Well, that's growth, I guess, right? If you can recognize it was dumb, then you're probably smarter than that now.
Yeah, taking a water bottle full of dirty water and spraying it all over the toilet walls was dumb in retrospect.
Yes, I can say that as well. Well, I guess I'm smarter than a second grader. We're getting there.
Oh my god! But yeah, I think there's going to be a space opening up in Apex in not long. But
yeah. Wait, what space? What are you talking about?
Nostalgia videos.
I mean, I feel like isn't that what I'm doing? No, maybe I'm not.
I mean, you are doing nostalgia videos, but I mean just people like walking around the old map or some crazy stuff like that.
Oh yeah, so you don't even have like any commentary. It's just like flat out.
I don't know why that pops off on Fortnite so much. Maybe because like so many people played it at the start, and then like 90% of people dropped off, and then there's just the loyal people.
I just found like the best TikTok. You do like a slideshow. Remember old Apex? You play like the season 0 music. And there's like a slideshow. Oh, I get that. Skull Town.
Showed cascades and everything.
Yeah, Thunderdome. You know, okay, I want to mention this because it bothers me. So as I guess I'm the Apex historian at this point. I'm like foreign of Apex.
Yeah, no one else really does that. You definitely own the title.
Perfect. I have something going for me. But so one thing that bothers me a lot, and you probably don't know this. Maybe you do. There's like no content in Apex in general. But we have we have the most content in Apex right now, as in like videos and whatever, like documentation. I should rather say.
Yeah, definitely. I tried to look back at old videos. It's like someone's PS4 share of like 720p 30 FPS gameplay.
Yeah, right. Like you go back to like season 1, a lot of things are like lost archives at this point. Like you can literally not. It's so hard to find cascades.
If you find a 1080p 60 FPS video of cascades where someone's not like, well, where it's a nice quality video, I'll be amazed because that stuff is impossible now. The only way to do it is like going to R5 Reloaded.
Yeah, it's super easy that way. And you literally gave me that idea as well. What if I just make a video of me walking around R5 Reloaded?
Do you remember Cascades?
Do you remember Cascades? What about?
Yeah, I tell you one place I miss: Slum Lakes. That place was so boring to fire, but it was, I don't know.
Isn't it the same?
No, it turned into that like Echo Base, and it's
Echo Base. What?
That's what the.
Oh no, I'm missing. I was thinking. I literally mistook these two back in season 0 as well. I was thinking swamps. Okay, Slum Lakes.
Oh no, I think swamps. I think swamps is like the best part of the map that represents season 1. It's just so simple. But I think I don't know. I don't think KC is going to receive any more updates. I think they've done that now. I think it's final form. It's a nice cycle there. They start by removing School Town and then they finish by bringing it back.
Full conclusion.
Next is World's Edge.
Yeah, I mean, I heard they're gonna remove streamer building. Who was it that tweeted? Was it Fade? Oh no, I saw something about it.
I think it was Thornton, but Fade was probably.
Thornton, okay, yeah. No, Thornton tweeted that. I was like, damn.
I mean, let's be real. Fade's probably playtested it, so brother knows.
Oh yeah, he would probably know. Yeah. But which one? You still have construction though, so I think it's fine.
I mean, he said like. I don't know details on this, so I'm not even like pretending to speculate. I'm fully speculating, but he said streamer building removed and like fragment changed. So I'm not sure whether it's going to be like a fragment update or they just go back and like, fuck this, 10 teams land here, we're removing streamer building.
Maybe they just they just try blowing it up again. They blew up fragment once, they can do it again.
They just have a map update on the other side of their map, but it's like, yeah. And also one asteroid just crashed clean into streamer building. It's gone. It's gone. Don't
just
go
that
there.
one building.
That was it for fragment.
I mean, I'm pretty
interested in the update fragment though.
I think it might be good. I think
I
generally
wonder what they can do, whether like rebuild it or just destroy it again.
Yeah, just destroy it again. Just keep going about it. They're like, oh, the rift grew bigger. It sucked in the streamer building. It's a big hole now.
That could be a viable thing. I would like that. Just the crack opens up and then like they build something over the top of it or something.
Oh, they don't even build anything. Just pull the Kings Canyon. Just make a massive.
They just crash a ship into it.
Just make a hole and call it a day.
Yeah, that was the old Fortnite methodology of a map updates.
Also, I have to ask also about your news channel. Back to that. Oh yeah. Also, by the way, if you guys listening don't know, we had I mentioned this previously, but so Garret and I actually recorded the unofficial first episode of this podcast. It's like a while ago now, and it was like a 3 or 4 hour conversation. We were just talking about whatever. It was a grand old time or super jolly. But the problem was 4 hours is a long time. I don't think a normal person would sit down and listen to that.
No.
And my editor didn't want to sit down and listen to that because he had to just cut it and everything. And then we had like so many issues also with the file. Like the actual recording was massive, so he couldn't even download it. And eventually, at one point, what happened was we just lost the file. Like I think he downloaded it, and I didn't have space, so I deleted it from my drive. I didn't have it on my own PC anymore, and then it was just gone. Which is a shame.
That's the ottr 1080p camera moment.
Yeah, it's my own fault. I recorded way too high of a bit rate. It's like 20, 40K or something. It's because I have to zoom in. I have to, for the TikToks, you have to zoom in and cut out everything. But if you don't have a high quality, it looks really bad.
I started using TikTok today just to like look at what everyone's doing. I didn't realize how many views you get on like normal TikTok because I only see on YouTube Shorts. I saw your TikTok. I was like, holy shit.
Oh, the OffStream one?
No, on your like main ottr account.
Ah, okay.
I think I did actually get a video for OffStream.
Yeah, we had one, dude. We had one with so all of them. I posted like 4 TikToks here so far. So one was like, literally all of them was from a podcast with PvP, and it was like, oh, the change we need with this fixed ranked. This is what Caustic had to be nerfed. This is why the Kraber had to be nerfed, and it got like no views. It was like 300, 500 views, and then we posted so he went like in depth into like what the problem with ranked was, which was that when they made season 13 ranked reloaded, they changed the matchmaking. So Preds couldn't find games, so they opened up the matchmaking to let in golds and plats and whatever into the games, so the queue times wouldn't be atrociously long, which made sense because golds and plats at the time were they were just previous Preds. They just hadn't ranked up yet. But then they never toggled that back off, which is why all of season 13 were like golds and plats and whatever. So that TikTok
like Respawn just needs someone like PvP just to work there.
Yeah. But he literally, so that little monologue has 500k views at the moment on TikTok. 497. It's like 2 days old.
Oh yeah.
That is crazy to me. And I like we actually got that account running. It has not translated into any new listeners as far as I'm aware, but it's cool to have it. It's something with TikTok. It's like a vanity number at the end of the day.
I've only ever started watching podcasts because of like Joe Rogan YouTube clips. Like in 2020 quarantine, I was like grinding GTA, and I'll just like have Joe Rogan clips just on all day on my second one to grind.
Yes,
And
he's a machine.
he talks about some shit. We should just talk about like how monkeys are really strong, like him, and then it'll be like the most famous podcast in the world, and then you get a deal with Spotify.
Yeah, he's got a thing
man.
like I'm taking a serious approach. Maybe we just need to talk about the weirdest stuff. I'm getting some other podcasts nowadays as well, which is like weird discussions.
Talk about Apex conspiracies, the true conspiracy. I mean, there's actually some like decent Apex conspiracies that make you think twice. It's like, oh, maybe Respawn are doing that to mess
Dude,
with
I
you.
think if I started, I have some crazy conspiracies in the back of my head. I can never prove it, and like, but I'm just gonna say it because we need a clip from this podcast.
Yeah, sometimes I'll record a video and then I'll be like, nah, this shit's too conspiracy.
Yeah, I have. So I will share it. So I have one conspiracy that is like crazy, like all the way like left field, like tinfoil hat, whatever. And I was thinking about like tweeting about it. I was thinking about making a video about it, but it's not really worth a video. It's not worth a tweet. But it's an absolute crazy conspiracy. So you guys know SBMM, and SBMM. You know, if you go on a win streak, this part is proven. This is not conspiracy. If you go on a win streak, the game will give you like worse teammates and harder opponents because they want to like keep you around a certain placement rate. Like they want to get you like they want like a 20% top 5 rate or something like that.
Yeah, and that's been proven with graphs as well.
Yeah, graphs and
People,
yeah,
like,
exactly
track the
graphs and fancy pictures and
graphs means it's real,
coloring
guys.
books. Yeah, exactly. But it's been like experiments done, reverse engineering the matchmaking, and that's what they've implied. We also know that audio sucks, and here is where it gets real conspiratorial because I connected the two, and I go, what if the reason audio doesn't work all the time is because of SBMM? What if the reason audio doesn't work, like you don't hear the guy running up on you, because that guy running up on you has a loss streak and has to get a win?
Uh,
I'm just saying, like, it's not too large of a leap to make. You have, I mean, I don't know about Apex. I don't know how the code looks, but I know in Warzone or like Call of Duty, they had like if your SBMM is high, you had a lower accuracy.
Warzone's crooked, bro.
Yeah,
I would be
that's
surprised
so
if
rigged.
Warzone's like, Jesus, yeah. I mean, no, I just know how bad like Apex uses this like audio system. It's called like Miles Audio something, and it's just bad.
Yeah, okay, that's
if there's
bad.
too many sounds going on at once, it just won't play certain sounds. Sounds basically, Dev even said this, so I'm not like just spouting bullshit here.
Yeah.
Sounds have like a hierarchy. So let's just say your footsteps are the number one, and then if the game's not running a limit, it will play gun sounds as well, and if it's not running a limit, it will play ambient sounds as well. So Dev's talked about this. I think the decoy steps are a lower priority than normal steps, so it just messes with it sometimes. But yeah, basically, if your sound is low on the hierarchy, it just won't play.
We had I don't know if this is still true, but I remember seeing a video from Moki. He said that sounds always played.
Oh yeah, some stuff is played like silently, but like on a 0.1%, so you can hear someone like looting from around the map if you crank your volume up. Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's the one.
And that glitch also showed its head with Newcastle. I think if you punched a wall as Newcastle, like 1 in 5 times, it would just play for everyone. And that was like a thing in season 14.
That's what I was.
Me and my friend noticed it, and when you notice it, you can't unhear it. You'll just hear like because someone just punched a wall.
We had
like
I think the crypto going for a Thermite also caused that at one point. The crypto drop.
That's so specific. How do you even patch that? How do you go about patching that?
I think it's just like they forgot that specific interaction. They had an intern Dave to deal with it and just forgot about it. That's funny. I think that's really funny the way they just mess up the audio in general. I remember. I don't remember. I forgot.
You forgot.
I had a train of thought and it just disappeared. That's fine. I was
So that's
probably not
special.
important.
Well, I do think that conspiracy is very. I mean, I like it though.
Do you think it's copium? Do you think it's cap?
Yeah, I think you're suggesting people rely too much on sound. The average person is just playing on a screen blasting sound.
That is a good point. That's probably why
I mean,
nobody ever complains about it that much, except streamers.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask the casual guy, like a dude who plays like 1 hour a day or like 2 hours a week, if he has issues with sound, he'd be like, what?
But okay, so
No, I'm
as
just
someone
trying
that
to unlock
streamed,
Wi-Fi.
I stream on Facebook. Like I'm the closest you can get to those people. Like I have data, not even Respawn has. I'm pretty sure. like I can get a conversation with the actual casual. And from my experience of streaming on Facebook gaming, when I say, "Oh, there was no sound. What the fuck?" They go, "Oh, he snuck up on you."
Oh yeah, he was just using the.
He was just crouching. He was just crouch walking the whole time.
No, do you not know the sneak ability?
I just think maybe they do hear it, but I just think it's like the game. Like, oh yeah, they snuck up on him or something. Oh, though you were shooting, you were healing.
I mean, I feel like the sound copium is very high because I'm gonna be real here. I've never had issues with sound in Apex. There's never been a moment where I've lost and blamed it on sound. I think it's very system dependent and headphone dependent and hardware conflicting dependent. I think some people just will never have it and they'll never understand the.
That is also possible, but I think also it depends on your playstyle. Like this is like a super meta-analytical, big fancy words I can't think of way to say it, but like if you rely on sound, you'll notice it. Like if I push up and hold an angle, like in the back of my head, I'll be like, okay, I go up and push this angle. I know that on the left here, there's a doorway, but I can only look in one way. I'm going to looking at the right because I notice an enemy on the right. If I hear a guy on the left, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to fall back. I can't look at both angles at the same time. So I rely on my sound to hear him peeking at angle. But because the sound never comes, I just get shot in the back and die. Happens all the time.
Oh my god. I don't know. Sound's never gonna get fixed, honestly.
No, yeah, there's no way.
Well, unless like I'm not sure how easy it is to do because once again the reliance thing. If you remove one block, it all breaks. I'm not sure if they could just switch out the audio engine. I don't think it's very possible.
Probably not.
And I don't even think if I'm speaking about real facts here. I'm not sure. I'm not too informed in the audio side of things.
I can't blame you. All I know is it doesn't work. It actually made me, I had another question about your channel rights that my mod was asking. So he wanted to know, one, and you can choose not to respond to this or not. He was wondering if you're like linked to leakers and Respawn employees, and like if you actively talk to either.
When I used to be like mad into data mining and like posting leaks and stuff, the only people who ever contacted me about leaks, I'm not naming names here, but were like pro players who had been allowed on builds, much like how Hal has talked about being on builds. They let people play test, but I have heard of Respawn devs contacting people, and they've said it on public videos, so I'm not like exposing anyone here. But yeah. Anytime I heard a leak, it was from like just a person who's been allowed to test the build early, basically, and that's what happens to the majority of leaks. One thing I've noticed recently though is like some of the leaks are from like China. I'm not sure what's happening in China, but sometimes there's just a picture of like the next season, just all in Chinese. Not sure the story behind that, but someone in China is doing something.
He's making big moves.
I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing it. I remember, that Bloodhound Youngblood recolor, the black and white one that recently came out.
Yeah, I think so.
There was just a picture of that in Chinese, like a month before it was even in the files. No one knew what was going on.
Maybe they're outsourcing the development to China now.
I think it might be something to do with Tencent. Tencent are known to leak a lot of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like Apex mobile builds, apparently Tencent just lose them, and someone gets them and just hands them out.
I mean, I know that's a big problem. Like if you send you get a factory in China, there's a big chance you're gonna sell your schematics to like put out stuff on Alibaba or something. Happens all the time. Supposedly. I don't do drop shipping and stuff, but apparently it's very common.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't surprise me, man. To be fair, if I owned a factory, I'd do it.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like,
yeah, no, the leaks are very weird, but I think Respawn are very tied down. There's not a lot of developer leaks.
No, probably not.
I've seen like 3 in my 3 years, and for the amount of people working at Respawn, that's nothing. Except that one time a developer live streamed the dev build, but
wait, wasn't there a leak? Just like I remember now, wasn't there a leak where I don't know where anyone came from, but it leaked like 3 years of development or some 3 seasons of development.
Yeah, that was actually I'm fairly sure that was from phishing. Like someone just emailed Respawn, like how they did the GTA 6 leak. They just pretended to be an employee and they're like, "Yeah, give me access to this and that," and I'm pretty sure that's how it happened.
Oh, okay.
Because basically
so
they used to do it. I mean,
if you
depends on your definition.
Yeah, that's a definition. Sorry. Yeah.
But they used to do it. I'm not sure if they still do it like this, but certain people had certain Origin accounts that were whitelisted to play the next build of Apex, and I think someone basically just got hold of a whitelisted Origin account.
Oh yeah.
And it was as simple as that.
Yeah.
But other times, like when AG420 would leak, it's basically because Respawn would pre-upload the update onto like Origin servers, and then he would just download it. But they've stopped that now because the collection event build is currently uploaded to Origin servers, but no one's got it, so they fixed that.
So they fixed that. That's
So
good.
the next collection event is like ready to shoot whenever on the
But that won't get leaked. No.
whatever day. No, if it could get leaked, it would be leaked by
I
now.
thought there was a leak that said when it's coming, but I guess that's all we know.
Oh yeah, because that's like that's information along with when they upload the build, they schedule a date for it to publicly release. Yeah, it's confusing. It's hard to explain.
No, we probably would have to have a whole other episode talking about that at this point. We're supposed to talk about whether Apex is dying.
I mean, I think it's a pretty simple answer.
Yeah.
Check back in 6 months.
Yeah, I think also Jay Miles made a video forever ago. I remember this is such a good quote, so I keep quoting him. He said that Apex Legends is not gonna die, but it is dying. I don't know if he does a good quote.
Yeah, it's temporarily dying.
Yeah, it's in that state of a game
fact
dying, but they're not gonna pull the plug on it. They're not gonna let it happen.
Oh, bro, they won't pull the plug on it until they lose profits like a year, maybe. But EA know. This is EA's highest earning live service game.
Yeah.
They would really hesitate to pull the plug in any respect or manner on that.
Yeah,
So they do not have a game doing what Apex is doing.
Yeah, no, I think they've said it at like every investor call and whatever, right? That's their golden cow or whatever.
It's their golden child, literally. Yeah. Like an Apex Legends. Everyone plays Apex Legends. It's all perfect for Apex Legends. Apex Legends is the best game ever. Yeah, I usually listen to the conference calls. You never get anything interesting from them. You just get EA bigging themselves up.
Needs to be done sometimes.
They're like, yes, people from 190 countries play this, basically. They hardly release sales figures anymore after people started quoting it again. So I'm not sure if that was deliberate. I doubt it is.
Oh yeah,
remember
right.
That 2 billion thing.
They're like, yeah, we made this much money. Why aren't you doing anything about the servers or?
And I don't think they've released a figure since the 2 billion figure.
When was that? Well, I want to find that now. 2 billion.
March, May.
Apex Legends 2 billion. Oh yeah, May. There you go, right.
For that, my Apex knowledge is quite bad.
Apex Legends has surpassed 2 billion in 3 years. Dollary dues.
Dollary dues?
Dollary dues. I mean, that if it took them 3 years to make that statement, it will take a while until you get a part 2 on that.
Yeah, next time I think next season is going to be one of their biggest earning seasons ever.
Yeah, I would hope so. I know a lot of people always say, "Oh, next season has to pop off, or we're screwed."
People are saying that about this season.
It said it every.
People are saying that about season 13.
Yeah, they just gotta keep saying it, and to a certain degree, they're right. It's more like the ever descending, the slope or whatever you want to call it of Apex Legends dying, not dying, but dying.
I think there's some potential because Hal was happy about the season 16 build. He said on stream, and to make Hal happy, bro, you got to be doing something right,
dude. Yeah, but someone's gonna hear you say that. Okay, Hal was happy about the new season, and because pros obviously ruin Apex,
true.
Then that means that it's a bad thing because if the pros are happy, then I'm not happy. Obviously, check that out after this episode. Our pros ruin Apex. Squeezing that one in there.
The answer is no.
But I think we'll also call it here. I'd like to thank you, Garret, for coming out and having this little discussion with me. Not taking 3 hours to do so, just a little shy of 1 hour and 15 minutes on my end. And of course, is there anything you would like to plug at the end of the day?
GRRT on YouTube, and that's about it. Otherwise, follow this podcast and recommend it to your friends and blow it up on TikTok.
Yeah, blow it up on TikTok.
Share it to everybody on TikTok. Watch it 10 times over.
He's got the spirit. A super fan. All right, thank you so much for coming out, Garret. Hope you have a good one, and I'll see you the rest of y'all next week.